I just want to start off this video by saying it's literally 5 a.m. right now, and I couldn't sleep because something has just been like really burning inside me to just like literally not stop until I make it. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's just 5 a.m. motivation type of thing, but I'm telling you, like I was like, fuck, I can't go to sleep. This shit's serious, and I wanted to make a video. So hopefully this goes well. This is my first YouTube video I think I've ever actually made like this, and I'm gonna try my best without a script. So, but let me give you a little backstory about me. So, I'm a 19-year-old college student. I currently am a sophomore in college and recently quit my Division III soccer team to try to transfer to a higher division. But the reason why I say that is mainly just because throughout this process I've had a lot of time to think about things, and obviously one of the main things I've been thinking about is if I want to play soccer or not, because transferring is not easy. It's actually a lot harder to transfer than to commit to a school. But if any of you guys are soccer players or athletes and you want advice about playing college sports, I can definitely help you with that for free, obviously. But besides the point, throughout this time where I've just been able to like think about passions and quitting things that I love, I've also been thinking about starting things I love as well, which is business. I love business. It's what I learned in college, entrepreneurship. I've personally owned two businesses. One of them is a lawn care business that technically is completely out of the running right now because of school mainly. I can't do business in California and Washington. It's a lot. I honestly I did try to do California business, but it's a door-to-door operation, and I know that's not very highly respected, but if you're ever going to do door-to-door, I think the highly most respected would be lawn care, just because it's like impossible to scam, basically. I mean, not impossible, but it's unlikely. Anyway, and I also do have a private coaching business that makes me, when I'm in LA, it makes me like $70 a week, so nothing crazy. But that aside, I'm a business guy. I love starting businesses. Obviously, I've had my own businesses. The lawn care business, by the way, is the most successful business I've owned so far. I think had a grand total, I made like $2,500 in like 2 months. So, if that's anything, it's something. It's a learning experience, but grand scheme of things, that's like literally a penny. So, yeah, I've somehow been able to manage to get to the point where I have $1,500 to spend on clothes, because one of the most biggest passions that I currently have is investing money into Fidelity. So if you guys don't know what Fidelity is, it's the most professional trading platform in my opinion, and I've just kind of grown a passion since I was like 17 years old to become an investor. I invest money for my mom, and I've made a decent amount from it, and I say that because I've kind of spent all the money from my other businesses and quit my actual job, so it doesn't really make sense that I'd have anything left to spend on clothing brand, but I have a little bit, not much, obviously, but yeah. So I kind of realized that a clothing brand is basically just an investment, and it's a very risky one, but a super volatile one, which just means that it's a high risk, high reward. And me personally have just been looking through some of my financials and realized that my shares in Pfizer are completely stagnant, and I'm not really someone that supports Pfizer in any way, but I just happen to have decent holding in their stocks. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna sell all my stock shares and put it into a volatile investment, which is a clothing brand, which I've always wanted to have. I've always wanted to have a clothing brand. So I'll do some more on that right now. So I'm gonna start a clothing brand, obviously. But I love clothes. And that's not the reason why I'm starting it, but I feel like you kind of have to love clothes to start a clothing brand. But I'm somebody that loves doing my own thing and doing things on my own. And I think I've always been kind of different when it comes to branding, especially recently, because when I was younger, I used to be kind of like a hype beast. I was into Supreme, into all these things, and I still have some shirts from brands and whatnot, but as I've gotten slightly older, and a lot of people my age don't think like this, and that's fine, because everybody should have their own way of thinking. Everybody's brain's different. I just don't see any value in branding. Like, I would never spend more than $50 on a hoodie. I shop strictly nowadays at Uniqlo, which is just a blank Asian company, super affordable. So yeah, that's basically my style, what I see as, I don't know how to really describe it. It's not like super deep or anything, but like, it's 5 a.m. and I haven't slept all night, so I'm just like out of it. But yeah, I love blanks. I'm a big blank guy, and I realized that I've always just wanted to make my own clothes. I've always wanted to build a business. I love business, so it just kind of seemed like a no-brainer to me. But you can't just start a brand to start a brand, right? So I've been recently building an entire document where I kind of write, and it's one of those things where like I have to make sure I write it out myself. Like, I'm not using AI to write this stuff out, which I do a lot in the past with other things like homework. But I wrote out my values, the vibe I want to give the world that I'm creating with my clothing specifically, and basically the brand name, since I somehow haven't even said that yet, the brand name is Ombra Amor. Okay, so originally I change my mind all the time on a lot of things. I first named it Silver Love. I was giving like a Chrome Hearts vibe. It's almost the exact same name with just two slightly different words. And I didn't really feel it. But I'm Italian. So I was like, okay, hold on. What's Silver Love in Italian? And it turned out it was Argento Amor, which I thought sounded really good. Only issue is that it could be mispronounced, and I'm very big on language, and I know how important that is for marketing and businesses, and repetition and ease of pronunciation are the most important. Like, Argento Amor sounds so bad, and Argento Amor sounds so good, but it is so easy for them to be misinterpreted that I was like, I have to figure out a name that still works with my branding, that sounds better, it's repetitive, it's easy to remember, it's marketable in some way. And I was like, Ombra Amor. Both the A's are the same alliteration, both the same amount of letters. It means vintage love. So basically, I just fell in love with the name, and It's not your typical streetwear name. I've also done a lot of research on Italian language and found hundreds of words that all kind of go with businesses. I looked into slang. I did a lot of research specifically because I want to have all my drops named in Italian as well, just to give it more of that Italian vibe that I'm going for. And it seems pretty obvious to me, but a lot of my clothing will be based on a European vintage style. Streetwear, old vintage Italian, European streetwear type of vibe. That is literally my favorite style. I would have to say. And I hope that you would hope so, because in my personal opinion, as a clothing brand owner specifically, you should only be selling things that you think look good, or you would wear, or you do wear. There's no other reason to sell anything. But yeah, it's based off of vintage Italian clothing. So some of the main values of my clothing brand are going to be simple, brandless, and affordable. Those are my 3 main qualities when I look at clothing to purchase, because I'm super big on simple clothing. Like, even though this is like a shirt I got from soccer, I still wear it around because it's so simple. I got it for free. I mean, I know like you typically want like some big fashion guy to like be a clothing brand owner, and I do have a lot of more fashionable pieces than this, and I wear a lot of baggy sweatpants and beanies and all that stuff, but I'm not somebody that hates a simple clothing, like a simple fit. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I want that to be my brand identity, because that's just me. So why not make it my brand identity? It makes no others, like nothing else makes sense to me, in my opinion. But I also feel like that resonates with a decent amount of other people as well, which is important. I can't just be someone that loves rainbow clothing. And yeah, sure, there's like a couple people that like rainbow clothing, but like, that's just not gonna work. Like, at least, actually, that was a bad example. I don't know. But I'm not gonna make this video much longer, because I do know that YouTube might not like long videos, and I wanted to make this really short. So let me just touch on the money aspect. So I had $1,500 to spend on clothes. Now, obviously, if you're somebody who likes watching clothing brand content, people start clothing brands, $1,500 can't just go on clothes. It has to go on, it doesn't probably have to, but you need to get shipping, supplies. You need to get a printing label. That's expensive. You need to get one of those. I actually haven't even got mine yet. I don't really need to worry about it right now, because I've only placed one order so far, and it's not coming for like a month. So I'm chilling for now. But you need to get a shipping label. You need to get the papers for the shipping label. You need to pay for Shopify, unless you get it. I mean, you have to pay $1 a month for 2 months, so you gotta pay for that. Sometimes people pay for marketing, editing, photo shoots, models. Lose money for giving out free clothing. A lot goes into it. Especially starting out, your return on investment is the lowest, and that's okay, because just so we can clear the air here, the main goal that I'm going to have with my first drop is to be able to market to the right people and create a return on investment that I can later use to further my brand even further. I said further twice. But it's going to be super simple. It's going to be a simple hat that I put some of my artwork on. Very minimal. A shirt, which will be very high quality cotton. It'll be two-tone. Very simple, just a custom tag on the inside. Like I said, like these pieces will be my own. They're not just blanks, but they're blanks. Like they're very minimalistic, very simple, and they all go together. Like I want to build a fit, and I think a lot of brands don't do that. Like some brands do that, but a lot of brands don't necessarily try to build one fit because they have way too much money to just build one fit. So I'm just gonna be building one fit that I fuck with. It's gonna be super simple. Like I said, I'm gonna do a sweatpants, baggy sweatpants that I fully designed myself. This will probably be my winning product. Like these will be fire. Like they're just blank, but I'm telling you, I customized the fit to look so good and fit perfectly on the ankle, on the shoe. Like I promise you, that's my winning product. But after I buy the sweatpants and the shirt, I'm left over with some money. And that's where I'll be spending the rest of the money, because I'll either have to make the risk to buy another product like a chain, I was thinking, or buy all the shipping supply stuff. But either way, I end up with $0. And I wanted to give another story about how I've risked thousands of dollars before and lost every single penny with meme coin trading. But I can say that story for another time, so I can make this video a little bit shorter. Listen, as somebody who has literally nothing left, just know that this will be big one day, and I can promise that to you. So, thank you. Alright, if you guys stayed till the end of this video, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm going to create a discount code for my website. You can only know it if you watch till this point, so it's going to be... I can't make this same as my name. I gotta think about this. The discount code will be D as in Dalen, J, H, DJH. If you put in the code DJH, you'll get a discount. And I'll be dropping the clothes most likely in February. But I'm going to be posting like this as much as possible, documenting the entire journey. So my next video, I'll be talking about how I designed my first clothes, and I'll talk a little bit more about how I found suppliers. Yeah, that's basically it for now. So I hope you guys can support a brother out, because this is probably the biggest amount of money I've ever gambled before. But that's what this is. It's a gamble. It's an investment. Peace out.